We've got to raise the bar, and we've got to continue to raise the bar. I don't think any of those young men, when they signed to come to Tennessee, they signed to say they wanted to come and be a part of a 7-6 program. All right, they said they wanted to come and compete for championships, SEC championships, national championships. I know that's what I want. I know that's what Tennessee wants. I know that's what the expectation is. So we've got to continue to reassess everything that we're doing and make sure that we're continuing to move the needle in the right direction.
It was very casual. We were just kind of walking off the field, and he was like, "So what you gonna do?" I said, "I'm gonna come back next year." He was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'm excited. Let's go to Atlanta." And I was like, "Yes, sir. Let's make it happen."
99% of the people in this world want to be great. Would you agree with that? Yeah, they're called wannabes. 1% work to be great. Drop the mic on that.
Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me. I did this on my own. You asking where we been, huh? I don't know where to begin, huh? All this dirt on my skin. I just came here to win. I'm more than a man, I'm a monster. Somebody call a pastor, doctor. I got a 6 cents for imposters. So now I'm coming for the whole roster. It's not a game, why you playing with me? You could double back, lose track, try and hang with me. It must be in my veins, something you can't tame, cause I break the chains. Can't control me. I got the power, I got the keys, cause I break the chains. They try to hold me, I'ma push back. Just wait and you'll see.
The team makes 2 mistakes to win. Play forward, make breaks, one comes always score. If it hurts, you aim the brakes, no hit, you know let up, put on more speed. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, slides, through the game, tackle, this win it. First sheet again, we're here for the first mate. Can everybody keep it every 60 minutes? To be the man, you gotta beat the man, and I'm saying, woo, right here.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley.
I'm Dauber.
And I am the X Factor.
Boys, we're the #1 team in the country. There's no more talk about here or there. Where I was here, I was there. We're back. Tennessee is freaking back. #1 team in the country. Dauber, the respect is there. Xavier and I were talking just before you kind of jumped into the back room a second ago, talking about the difference between the AP poll and the college football playoff rankings. The rankings are all about what have you done this year. Tennessee is the best dang team in the country. It's going to be a celebration tonight.
Man, it's awesome. I was just clicking through my ESPN app on my phone and saw, that #1 beside Tennessee in football coming up. And then we talked about it before. The momentum and just the positive things that are going on in Knoxville right now. You got a #11 beside the men's basketball team who play Monday, a #5 beside the women's basketball team who play Tuesday, and that big #1 beside the football team that plays Saturday. Man, just things are good in Knoxville right now.
We're back, baby. We're back. Are we back, Xavier? Is Tennessee back?
Listen, we are back and we are here. It's both statements. And
he's sucking up to both of us, Dauber. Listen to this.
But even in the intro, though, just like what Coach Gardner said, man, he said that, that they got to raise the bar. This coaching staff and this team, they pretty much have raised the bar. I mean, they probably raised the bar even higher expectations than we've ever thought for this season. So, giving props to this coaching staff, man, they definitely deserve their flowers for sure. Because yeah, it feels great to be number one.
This is a fan call-in show. We're going to bring you guys on. We're going to celebrate. We're going to. I could sit here and pretend. That we're going to be here for an hour. It's going to be 2 hours. We're going to be riding all the way till 11 o'clock. I'm going to put out the link. I'm going to go ahead and do it now. Why wait? Let's open up the celebration. Let's get this link sent out to the members of the Talkin VAWLS Elite. If you're coming in here and you're new to this thing, let me see here. Join the show. Boom. There's the link to members of the Elite. If you're coming in and you're new to this show, you've never been here for the Talkin VAWLS live shows before, this is what we do every Tuesday night at 9 o'clock. This is for the fans, by the fans. We let the fans come on here and run the show. It's always a blast. Let me run down the chat. Let's see who's hanging out here tonight for this big celebration. Chris Bradley's in the house, says Mustache Dauber activated. Dauber, show him the picture. Dauber had a Halloween costume, and I saw he posted on Facebook, and I was like, if that mustache is gone before the next live stream, you're terminated. You will be fired from the Talkin VAWLS Network. Epic Halloween costume, and glad that Dauber showed up here tonight, still rocking that beautiful, beautiful mustache. I mean, look at that. I don't know why you didn't dress up. I mean, why didn't you dress up for Halloween? I don't really understand. But I enjoyed it. I dug it. I thought it was great. Let's continue to run down the chat here. Who else we got here? Let's see. Brandon Parker in the house says, go, dang, Vols, let's go. Craig J's in the house. What's up, Craig? Kenny Davis is here. VFL Willie is in the house. Jacob Tabor says, Dauber Mania's running wild, brother. He's got those 22-inch pythons, brother. Say your prayers. Take your vitamins. Aaron Duck's in the house. What's up, Aaron? Steve Truitt's in the house. Let's silence the dogs. Yeah, I think the rankings kind of add a little bit of pressure for Saturday. Got a lot of super chats coming in already. We appreciate the support. We got Coach Jay in the back. We'll get him in here in just a second. John Hill for 10. We can officially start the show because John Hill has dropped the super chat. Says number one in the nation, baby. Beat Georgia. Hate Georgia. Let's go, Big Orange. Thank you, John. Always generous. John kind of kicks off the show every single episode with a super chat. Brad Purdy becomes a member of the channel. Thank you, Brad. We appreciate that support, buddy. Randall Fleming also becomes a member of the channel. Thank you for that. Look, guys, you keep the lights on by becoming members of the channel. Matthew Ford also becomes a member, but you also get a Power T beside your name. I try to highlight your comments on the screen during live shows. You get access to the fan call-in shows. You support. You are the heartbeat of the Talkin VAWLS Network. We appreciate it. Sammy P for $2 says, we are back. Go big, fluffing orange. Thank you, Sammy P, for not only the super chat, but also allowing me to be able to read the super chat. I appreciate that. Tyler Adams for $5. Can we sit back and take a good look at this year and just the ride us fans have been on, all the years of torment to this? Go big orange. Sometimes
100%.
it blows my mind. I was recording with A to Z Sports this morning. They do a podcast, also YouTube show. It's going to air in the morning around 11 or 12 o'clock, somewhere around in there. And that was part of the conversation, was just like, sit back and look at where this football team is at in less than 2 years. Mike Jones for $1. Thank you for the super chat. Ardor Wolf for $1. Thank you for the super chat. Ryan McCurdy for $5. Feels like 22. Gosh, if they go win a national championship, that's the shirt we're going to sell, and we're going to get rich. We're going to get filthy rich and make all the money in the world. Thank you, Ryan McCurdy, for the super chat. Matthew Wilson for $2. We're number one, baby. Go big, fluff, and orange. I've started something. Here. I appreciate you guys keeping it clean around here. Ethan Maxwell for 10. Do you think Tennessee will shoot themselves in the foot or keep it locked in and run the table? Also been watching for a while and thought I should show a little love. Thank you, Ethan. We appreciate that. Look, this team has given us no reason to think they won't be dialed in and continue to play at an elite level. Knox for Predator Catcher for 5. First number one team to never play anyone. Also, this is your daily reminder that Byron Young used to work at a Dollar General. Thank you, Knoxville Predator Catcher. We appreciate the super chat.
And the goalposts are in the river.
Yes, and
That's all that matters.
Let's get some of the listeners on here real quick. Coach Jay's in the house. Nate Turner is here. We also got Jamie Roberts. Let's kick it off with Nate. Nate, how you feeling, buddy? How good does it feel to be the number one ranked team in the country?
I'm still trying to comprehend this. It is amazing. Me and my old lady were just talking before the show came on about how it's been so long, and for us us people like you and Dauber that have been around to see this and to feel this and the atmosphere that was inside Neyland Stadium the other night. I'm telling you, I've been a Vols fan my entire life. I have never, ever just feel chills at every video I see that pops up on Twitter. I mean, this is amazing.
Coach Jay, how you feeling, buddy? Does it feel good or does it feel good?
It feels great, man. It feels really surreal. It just feels great, man. I don't even know what to say. I couldn't believe it when I was watching that show. I think like a lot of people, even though we knew they would have respect for our resume, I just felt like a number 2 was coming out of that ranking. But doggone it, they did the right thing and put us at number 1. We just got the best resume, period. I thought they nailed that right there. So I felt really good about the rankings.
What about you, Jamie? How you feeling, buddy?
Oh man, I was ecstatic. We were cooking supper and I about jumped clean out of the kitchen, started sending it out to all my buddies on all my social media platforms. It was crazy.
Well, I think Coach Jay hit the nail on the head. I just don't think when you look at the resume, when you look at the facts, and that's something we were talking about too right before we went live, the AP poll kind of brings, I don't know, emotion's probably not the right word, but it's kind of like, well, George, it's like the old boxing terminology, right? It's like, well, you got to beat the champion. No, you don't. You don't have to knock the champion out. You just have to win. That's like saying, oh, well, they're the defending champions. You got to beat them by 10. No, you just have to win. I don't care about a champion in boxing. Just win more rounds and you are the champion. That's it. And Tennessee's resume speaks for itself, and the AP polls have too much emotion because that's lack of a better word.
Yeah, the other thing
Nate's
is,
dog's playing with a toy.
I got it. I'm sorry.
That's all right. The other thing is, who casts the votes for the AP poll?
Right.
Broadcasters and journalists, most of which whom probably have never put on pads and played the sport. So, you know,
there was one of them that had Alabama ranked ahead of Tennessee.
Take it with a grain of salt. And these things will work themselves out in the end. And the way this team is playing football, that's all that matters. They handle their business like they have been. It works itself out.
If you go through and you look at the comments on Twitter as far as the number 1 rankings and stuff, nobody's really disputing Tennessee. The only thing that you see is just the Georgia fans saying enjoy it for 4 more days. That's it. But nobody's really disputing Tennessee being number 1, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, you know the Georgia and the Alabama fans want to see us fall. I mean, it is what it is. You know, so are losers.
I just don't understand the Clemson ranking. I truly don't see Clemson as a number 4 team.
I don't either. I don't see it either.
If Clemson plays in any other conference besides the ACC that is completely weak this year, they have an L on their resume already.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Clemson lost in Notre Dame this weekend, to be honest. I mean, I'm not saying it will happen. I don't think they're that great either. I don't think anyone really does. And they could get caught flat-footed in that one. That could absolutely happen.
Are you guys shocked that Ohio State is ahead of Georgia when you're looking at resume? Like that one I thought it would be Tennessee number 1, Georgia number 2.
I think it may have something to do with this week's game because they know whoever wins out of this week, and they're going to be number 1 throughout the rest of the season.
Man, you would think, though, you would want to capitalize, right? Number 1 versus number 2. That's a lot of money on the line when you get to sell it that way.
It's still going to be the biggest show of the week.
Of course. Mm-hmm. Let me get Dustin Sellers and Christopher on here. What's up, guys? All right. We got to get Chris fixed. Every time he comes on, there's an echo. We got to fix that. Guys, if you don't have headphones, look, I love you guys. I want you guys to be able to come on here, hang out, talk ball with us, but we also have to put on a show. So if there's an echo, I got to bounce you. I cannot let you have an echo or background noise or anything of that nature. So let me see if we can get Chris fixed and dialed in. Dustin, what'd you think of the rankings when they came out? Tennessee, and also just, I guess, kind of look at that top 10. Any surprises in there at all?
Yeah, I agree with the Clemson thing's kind of whack. Honestly thought TCU should maybe be ahead of Alabama.
Yeah.
Christopher, I'm sorry, I got to bounce you, man. I got to bounce you. You gotta have headphones in order to keep the show going. Sorry, Dustin. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, that was the two biggest surprises to me. I think, well, and the fact that Michigan wasn't in the top 4 was kind of surprising. I think, honestly, with the exception of us, and maybe I'm a little biased, but the exception of us, I thought, the last 3 teams, 2, 3, and 4 spots, real razor thin as far as their resume this season. But, I've had a few bickerers this week kind of get back at me about, well, these teams weren't ranked now, but I'm like, well, they were when we played them. So, and just strength of schedule wise, I think we deserve to be in the top spot, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. Does anyone honestly believe that if Clemson and TCU fall, that we'll be left out of the college football playoff?
Wait, say that again. If
Clemson and Texas Christian lose, is there a scenario where we don't make the college football playoff? I don't think there is.
I don't think so either. The one thing that I already know it's going to happen, and I'm not speaking a loss into existence, but if Tennessee loses to Georgia on Saturday, even if it's a 1-point game, Alabama will 100% jump Tennessee, which is a joke. That's an absolute joke, but it's going to happen. So how does the West shake out? That LSU-Alabama game on Saturday is huge. That's a huge football game in addition to Tennessee-Georgia. So it'll be interesting to see how that game shakes out, how the West shakes out. That'll play a big factor into where Tennessee fits into it too. But, the whole thing is, what's the whole point? You want to get the best 2 teams, right? That's who you want. You want to get the best 2 teams facing off for the national championship, and 3 of the best teams are all in the SEC. That's it.
I look at strength of schedule; it shows you that right off the bat.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it today. If you look at what we have left, plus if we, end up getting in the SEC championship, and then maybe another 2 games to get to the national championship, that's 7 more games from now. So, got a lot of work to do still. I don't expect us to drop one to the last 3 on the schedule, but man. I've kind of said it all year long that, I like our chances. Like, maybe we weren't, 100% bought in at the start of the year, but as the season went on, they just kept. I think the impressive thing to me is it's more and more guys popping onto the scene that's making big plays every week, and so therefore the team as a whole has gotten better. So if that defense continued to climb, I like our chances this week as well.
Let me add another listener. Hold on, Nate. Let me add another listener real quick. The man with the best voice in all of the Talkin VAWLS family.
There it is.
D-Car's in the house. What's up, buddy? How you feeling tonight?
Hey, it's great to be a Tennessee Vol. That's
100%.
all I can say.
Amen.
Number one. Year 2. Boy, I can't believe it, man. Josh Heupel, like this man came in here, turned around the program, and I will be the first to admit, for years and years and years, I wondered, I'm like, how much does a coach make a difference in college football? How much is it coaching versus recruiting? I was so bitter against Alabama and Nick Saban just being like, man, they just pick every kid they want, and they just have the best players. And so I was like, is Saban really the best coach, or does he just have the luxury of picking every kid he wants and dominating college football? Josh Heupel came in here and changed my mind. It's unreal what he's done.
Go ahead.
I was about to say, well, when you have a winning program, and you got to think kids see that and they're like, okay, I want to be like that. I want to go win national championships. I want to play for Alabama. But the funny thing is that it's like, are you sure you really want to go to Alabama? And it's also showing in the recruiting class, nobody wants to go to Alabama. They're only going to Alabama because of Nick Saban and the history of Alabama. But see, now with us winning and start to build this momentum, who doesn't want, and we've always said it on this channel, who doesn't want to come and play in this offense? I mean, who doesn't? It's fun, and Josh Heupel has set in the culture of just like this family locker room, and it's just, who doesn't want to be a part of that?
Coach Jay, jump in there, and then I want to come back to Nate's comment. But after Coach J, I'm gonna jam through some super chats. But as a coach, kind of touch on that recruits versus X's and Jimmys and Joes and X's and O's. That's a conversation, right?
Yeah,
It is.
yeah. The age-old conversation, but I would say that's a couple fold there. You know, you get a lot of programs, all Texas A&M, who have a lot of talent. So you gotta get the recruits and the talent, right? B, you have to develop that talent. C, you have to create the correct process, the correct environment where those kids can thrive, and then also the X's and O's on top of those Jimmys and Joes. You have to have good scheme. If you don't, you're going to fall apart. We've seen it time and time again with coaches who have let the game pass them by and have let those X's and O's pass them by and just get schemed up week after week. That's not going to cut it. This game is always evolving and going further, and you can't stay stagnant. If you don't continue to get better, you're getting worse in the game of football.
And let me throw one thing in there real quick, Boogie, before you hit the super chats. Just onto what Coach Jay said right there. If you're not evolving and adapting, and I think that is a huge point with the rapid success that this coaching staff has seen, is the way that they evolved and adapted to the transfer portal and the NIL. Because you look at that and the players that they brought in and the immediate impacts, the holes they filled, and the guys that have come in and you've seen success. You know, Velus Jones, Peyton, you know, Tillman. You know, all these guys.
Everybody.
And it's that development and that you're bringing guys in that don't just have that rating to bump your stars and your stats and all that up. You're bringing guys in to fill spots and to have success on the field. And that's what impresses me so much. That's what makes this so unbelievable. It's year 2. It's year 2, and he came in with less in the cupboard than pretty much the last 3 coaching staffs, and has done more with less. And that's a testament to the coaching staff and to the drive and the buy-in that those players have.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna jam through a bunch of super chats. I'm sitting here dying laughing. My wife occasionally is lurking. She's like in the chat, popping in, seeing how many people are watching. She's always looking in, and she just messaged me and said, "Hold on a second." She thought D-Car was Drew Holcomb. She thought he was. I don't know if you guys. I know Dauber knows who Drew Holcomb is. We're big Drew Holcomb fans, and she was like, "Hold on a second. He looks and sounds like Drew. Like, is that Drew Holcomb? Because Drew Holcomb's a Tennessee fan." And I was like, "Oh, I just started."
Isn't he a Knoxville guy?
I think they're in Nashville right now.
He's from Memphis,
okay, they're Tennessee people, I think.
He's from Memphis, but he's a Tennessee fan.
It's so funny because she said that, and I just start dying laughing because it's like you do kind of look like him, and you really do kind of sound like him too. So, dude, that song,
I know
Tennessee,
the name, but I don't know enough about him.
Oh my gosh, he plays the song Tennessee, and I found it because I was listening to Eric Ainge. I was listening to the Eric Ainge show, and they do like. They did like fan bumper music for a long time. You could suggest songs. Anybody in this chat, I encourage you, go listen to Drew Holcomb, Tennessee. I actually used it for one of the hype videos, and people are like, "That's way too mellow for a hype video." But it's a great song, man. You'll fall in love with Drew Holcomb. All right, I got a bunch of super chats to hit, so you guys be patient. Bear with me. Let me get Thomas Maynard on here. What's up, Thomas? Just in time to sit and listen to me read a bunch of super chats.
That's quite all right. Go Vols. We're back, baby.
Wait a second. What are you wearing there? What are you wearing, Thomas?
Yes, I am.
Look at that sweet shirt. That's beautiful. That is a beautiful shirt that you can pick up at bonfire.com/store/talkinballs. All right, let me jam through some of these. RMX Indiana becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate that. Ethan Maxwell for 5 says also GBO. Thank you, Ethan. We appreciate that. Joshua Lifford for 20. That ain't cheap. $20 ain't cheap. We have the weapons. Stetson isn't Bryce, and Najee is better than anything they'll throw at us. Can we put pressure on their secondary and dictate the pace of the game and make Stetson beat us? That's what it boils down to. Yeah, I think it is. It's the same old song and dance, right? You got to stop the run, get pressure on Stetson Bennett. He's sneaky, elusive. He's not Bryce Young, but he will evade pressure. But this is a big one. This is a big time matchup. Thank you for the super chat, Ardor Wolf for $1. Thank you for that. Skid is VFL for $2, back and better than ever. That they are. Epic Eric for $2, Vols for Vendetta. Thank you for the $2. D-Car. Wait a minute. Is that you, D-Car? D-Car's dropping $5.
Vols by 50 boys.
Maybe I should make D-Car read his own super chat. Thank you for the $5, D-Car. Vols by 50. I love it. Jay Clark for $20. That ain't cheap. Nothing to say. Just $20. $20 super chat. We appreciate it. Ethan Maxwell for $2 says if we beat Georgia, I'll give $100. I love it because I think we're up to about 3 tattoos. We got somebody saying $10,000. They're going to give $10,000 if Tennessee wins a natty. So let's just keep on winning and keep getting rich, filthy rich. Atomic Gas Man for $2, regardless of rankings. Let's go get the job done. Thank you for the super chat. Mayhem Matthew for $5. Tennessee will fall on their face this Saturday. Hey, that's the beauty. I will let a Georgia Bulldog give us $5 all day long and read their super chat. Thank you, Mayhem Matthew. Good luck on Saturday. Looking forward to the game. Knoxville Predator catch for $2. We need Buck family year round if we win the natty. Maybe. We'll consider it. What's that say? McAdelic of 13. Thank you for becoming a member of the channel. We appreciate it. Chandler Matthews for $20. That ain't cheap. I have Georgia fans as friends, and they are shaking like leaves on a tree. Glad to see the Vols finally get respect. Hype, keep your foot on the gas, or as the old indie kid would say, keep your foot on their throat. Thank you for that generous super chat. Thomas Mader, who is now in the house, became a member of the... You guys see how that works? Thomas became a member of the channel, and now he's sitting on the channel. That's the beauty of the Talkin VAWLS network. Tucker White, 94 for $5. 2 years ago, Tennessee bottoms out. Now, a year removed from the fall of the Vols, the Volunteers are the #1 team in college football. Maybe that's it, Dauber. Maybe the fall of the Vols turned this whole thing around. Maybe it's all because of us. Yeah, it's all because of us. Stevie J for $100. That's $100. That's $100. $100. That ain't cheap. We got to play the clip. Got to play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 million man.
Stevie J bringing the heat, $100. How great is it to be a Tennessee Vol? Thomas, you just joined on the show, so you answer the question. How great does it feel to be a Tennessee Vol tonight after the rankings came out?
I'm going to put it like this. I have been a Tennessee fan since I was a little kid in the Heath Schuler days. I've been waiting for this for 20 years. This feels really good. I don't know how else to put it.
It's hard to put in words.
Yeah.
Perfectly said.
It doesn't feel real. It almost does not feel the conversation. And this, let me, in the words of Dauber, let me throw this out there. The conversation again with recording with A to Z Sports today, and the question was, at what point did you realize this team's good? Like they're good. And my answer was, it changes every week. I'm like, LSU was a big turning point because everybody was talking about Tennessee wouldn't be able to, kind of turn the corner on that. And they go out and they boat race them. But even still, I'm not going to lie, man. I may come on here on air and be confident and talk about Kentucky's daddy. A little nervous going into that Kentucky game. What about you, Dauber? What was the turning point? Like, where do you feel like you really, truly realized this team is good? They're a top 10, top 5 program, #1 team in the country.
I mean, listen, we talked about breaking the season up in 2 halves and looking at that front half of the season, and you won, 3 games that were considered toss-ups and 1 game that was considered a loss. Bama was just kind of a given loss. And to go and play them like this team did, to be, score 21 points in the first half, to put up 52 on them, I agree. The LSU game was big because this team went on the road in conference as a favorite in a tough place to play. Spare it was a early kick, this and that. You go on the road in conference, it's still a tough game.
And the funny thing is, people that want to, devalue that win, Tennessee now has wins over college football playoff ranked #6 Alabama and #10 LSU.
Yeah, well, and that's the
only
other thing.
team with 2 top 10 wins.
Yeah.
LSU is looking a whole lot better, and it was funny.
Absolutely.
This past week on the broadcast, Herb Street was talking about how good LSU has looked since their Week 1 loss to Florida State. And I was like, man, did he forget that butt whooping that they had in Baton Rouge? I think he conveniently left that out. But because they were trying to hype up this Saturday's game against Alabama, but he just kind of left that one out.
Yeah, and Boogie, back to your original question, like it's hard to pinpoint when the turning point was for this team because one, we've all had battered ball syndrome for so long that it was like we just expected the bottom to fall at some point. And two, like I said earlier, it's different. We expected the quarterback play to be good. We expected wide receivers to be good this year. But the surprising thing is these different position groups starting to come forward. It's the defensive line. It's the offensive line. It's now the secondary making more plays. So it's a lot of things adding up to I think it's still true that we may have not played our best game yet. There's still a lot of room to grow. So it's really crazy how far and how well developed or how good of a job they're doing developing these kids right now. It's amazing.
Yeah, great job. I mean, my big thing this year has been watching. I mean, just like we've all talked about the development. Like, I went to talking about when did I think this team was a good team. We saw them play Pitt on the road. Like everybody talked about, we're going to know more about this team when we play Pitt. We're going to know more about this team when they play Florida. We're going to know more about this team when they play LSU, when they play Bama. I mean, when does it end? We know now we're the number 1 team in the nation, right? Like now we know we're real. But when did I know? Like, so you watch the Pitt game, and being a Vol fan, a VFL, you watch that Pitt game. It went to overtime. I was just waiting. I was waiting the whole time to just pull a Tennessee. When are we going to lose it? How are we going to lose it? How are we going to do this? Even after that game, I'm like, man, we squeaked that one by. Like, things actually went right. Like, no, that's not how it usually goes. So I was kind of skeptical. I went to the Florida game. I was at that game. It was loud. It was a loud game. It was a 3:30 game. We had game day. All that stuff was going on. But at the same time, there was that everybody was nervous, like it wasn't unleashed. Everybody was still nervous, and it came down to that final play. There was still that Hail Mary. And the whole time we're doing the Gator Chomp. The whole crowd's doing the Gator Chomp. Everybody's doing it. I'm sitting here looking around. I'm like, boys, we're Tennessee. What are we doing? What are we doing, guys? Like, this is how we lose. Like, they're going to get this onside kick. It just happens this way. Like, this is Tennessee football. They're going to get the onside kick. And we won that game. We're like, man, we pulled it off again.
How did you feel when we got the interception?
I mean, buddy, so what was it after Florida? You had Florida, then you had who was next? LSU. LSU was the next big game, right? Yep. LSU dropped that. They dropped the kickoff, right? So that happens, and even watching that game, we're up, I don't know, 30-something to 10 or whatever the score was, and I'm watching and I'm like, man, we're gonna screw this up somehow. I'm the biggest BVS sufferer there is, like big time. So when it finally hit,
I don't know, brother.
When we hit that field goal, it not just the field goal, but putting up 52 points on Alabama. You put up 52 on Alabama, 50+ points on Alabama. I don't know if anybody watches Josh Pate. I don't know if that's a frowned upon thing around these parts.
Oh no, I love Josh Pate. Josh Pate's the man.
I watch Josh Pate all the time.
He threw a stat out tonight that Alabama has only allowed 15 touchdowns all year. Tennessee has 7 against Bama.
I mean, word on the street is Jalen Hyatt is still running wide open in the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So that for me, that Bama game was the absolute pinnacle of Tennessee football for the past, 15, 20 years. I mean, that was the turning point for me. Even watching, after Bama, even I went to the Kentucky game last week, and there was no doubt, the nervousness that was there at that Florida crowd was not there for the Kentucky crowd. But me being a VFL, I'm watching it. We're up 20-6, and I'm like, when's it coming? What's going to happen? But going into Georgia, Vols by 50. We're winning by 50.
Yep.
Let's go, boys.
D-Car,
So,
you took
on that
every
note,
feeling and emotion from me. Everything you just said is exactly how I felt throughout the entire season.
So
I
in the
would like
Bama
to point out-
game, in the Bama game, when the sorry, can you hear me? Sorry, boys.
Yeah, you're good. Go.
And
Go.
the
Go.
Bama
You're a little lagged out, so just go ahead. Go. You're good.
When Hooker and Small fumbled the exchange in the Alabama game, my heart sank. I thought, that's it. This is where our undefeated season is going to come to a halt. And then we picked right back up, punched them right back in the mouth, and that's when I realized this team is for real. This team is a national championship contender.
Yep.
And it's just what it is. It's just this team just doesn't give up. This team finds that grit and finds that fight, And then I know we said it in the last, fan calling show, and for me especially, it's just looking at Josh Heupel's demeanor. This man, because I know, like D-Car was saying that we all have battered ball syndrome and stuff. That man, Josh Heupel, does not have battered ball syndrome. That man,
No, he does not.
That man has just straight, oh yeah, he has just straight, just calmness, demeanor to him, and he has that competitive spirit in him that it doesn't matter what the scoreboard looks like, you're focusing on the next play. And I love that about Josh Heupel, and I love about this team that they have that grit and that fight to go and compete.
The moment I realized that we were what we are was almost giving that game away against Florida. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad we won that game.
Mm-hmm.
But almost giving it away and then turning around the next week, going on the road, one of the hardest places to play in the SEC, and just whipping LSU. And fixing a lot of the issues that you saw at the end of the Florida game, and they weren't problems against LSU. And that was when I knew this team is special.
See, I think all that grows my confidence. Bama, I think Jamie just said it, the Bama, the fumble, I'm like, okay, here we go. It's over. We're done. And it's like the LSU win was big. But I think, and this sounds stupid because we are Kentucky's daddy, but to just go out and just beat the brakes off of them and not give them a chance, you know what I mean? It's like that tells me that we're back because in the old days it was you don't watch Kentucky games. You like the casual fan. They don't watch Kentucky. They don't watch South Carolina. They don't watch Vandy because they know it's going to be a blowout. So they go spend time with their buddies. They go fishing. They go hunting. They do whatever. But there was this shift. There was this shift where it became the casual fan stops watching the Alabama games and the Georgia games and the LSU game because they know Tennessee's going to lose. And it's like going out there and just whipping teams, and even going back to last year, going out and whipping teams like South Carolina and Missouri, whipping the Ball States, whipping they never have a chance. Tennessee is screwed around for too long with teams like Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Ball State, Akron. And, I know it's two different things. We're talking about winning big-time games versus dominating, teams that don't matter. But at the same time, man, it just almost gives you that confirmation of Josh Heupel's going to be ready week in, week out, no matter who they're playing.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I'm going to agree with what Boogie just said. I mean, too many times over the years have I watched Tennessee go out and compete for at least the first quarter or the second quarter, and then throw it away in the third and fourth quarter. And it's like, oh, here we go. Tennessee is Tennesseeing again, and it's nice that this year we can actually sit back and be like, yes, we're actually going to compete. Yes, we are actually going to win. And, well, heck, we're 8-0. I mean, come on, boys. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's amazing. I never in my life would I think that Tennessee would be back again after as much turmoil as we've been through. The Butch Jones, the Derek Dooleys, the Lane Kiffins, the Jeremy Pruitts. It's
that's
Did
one
anybody
of the things.
see Jeremy Pruitt's comments today?
Yeah.
About Hooker?
I watched it on Saturday Night South. It was just kind of surreal to watch Jeremy Pruitt talk about the balls.
Look, that guy couldn't
I thought that guy just kind of disintegrated. I didn't know.
What else did he say? I saw the Hooker comments. Did you listen to the whole thing?
I saw about it. It was like a minute and 15 clip on Saturday.
Okay.
South. That's all I saw.
Look, that guy couldn't coach his way out of a McDonald's bag, so here we are.
But how many times again have we been here, done that, right? We did it with of course, Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin may have, I don't know if he would have succeeded. He was awful young. I loved Lane Kiffin when he was here. But we did it with Derek Dooley. Oh, it's the son of the great Vince Dooley. Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace to Vince Dooley. Absolute legend. But it's like, son of Vince Dooley. He's going to be great. And then just a disaster. And Butch Jones and Jeremy Pruitt. And it's like, when Josh Heupel came in, battered Vol syndrome, it's like, you got to prove something to me. Because I've been here, done that, Coach Jay. I've seen it time and time again. Is Coach well? How did you feel, Coach Jay, when Heupel was hired versus now? Like, did you believe when he was brought in?
I believed in his offense, 100%. I believed in his offense. I didn't know about, all the other things that make a head coach great, and he wasn't, proven in a better conference as just a head coach. I mean, I think we all know about what he accomplished at Missouri. And so I knew his offense would work in the SEC, but, the ability to recruit, the ability to develop, the ability to keep the team together off of the jump, that could have gone south really, really quick when he got here and everyone jumped ship like that. There were instantly two ways it could have gone. And he turned our weakness into a strength. And that's the definition of a head coach for me. You talk about Lane. I do think he was too young. I mean, he came out west and they handed him the keys to a Ferrari and he drove it into a wall. So I don't know that Lane was necessarily the right answer as far as that goes. But Hype has just really, really impressed me with the way he brings them together, his evaluation. Kids like Nico, Coach Pearson over where Nico plays is a coach I know really well. He coached another kid named Bryce, who you all know I have a connection with as well. Shout out to any of the Cathedral family out there listening. But I think we're going to have another doozy there, and he's the right kind of kid as well. And he comes from a great system that's produced already a Heisman winning quarterback. So we should be very, very excited about what's coming in town, not only what we have currently.
Let me jam through some more super chats real quick. I got some backed up here. I do want to say I did put the link out to Talkin VAWLS Gold. Typically I try to go about 20, but the Talkin VAWLS Elite, it's a big night, it's a special night. These guys, I see people in the chat going, wait a minute, how do I get on this show? Everybody that's on this panel right now gives $10 a month. They are the elite of the elite. So I want to give them time to come on here and hang out. But I did put the link out to Talkin VAWLS Gold. If you guys start trying to come into the back room, we'll rotate some guys off. But until then, that's right, Nate, let them know. Until then, we're going to let these guys hang. Gary, I see you in the back, Orange Sea Line. We'll get you on here in just a second as well. Let me run through some super chats real quick. Landon for 2, Vols 49, Georgia 24. Holy, sign me up. What are you drinking? What are you drinking, Landon? I'll have one of those. And if they win 49-24, let's freaking go. I love it. Larry Emerson for 2.
I expect a T-shirt if they do that.
Look, if they do that,
Georgia 19, Vols 98.
Man, I'm telling you.
I'm no longer a YouTuber. I'm a T-shirt salesman, and I'm okay with that. Larry Emerson for 2. We appreciate the tip in the tip jar. Trey J for 5. Like I said, if Tennessee wins, I'll get that Power T tattoo. #GBO. That's at least 3 or 4 tattoos, Dauber, that I've heard are coming if Tennessee beats Georgia on Saturday.
Look, I'll raise that.
Oh wait! Who said that?
I said Rob said that. So yeah, 100%. If we beat Georgia on Saturday, I'll get the Talkin VAWLS State Pride tattoo.
I'll say this right now. I'm going to put it out there right now, live on air. If somebody, you can see across the bottom, we got a little leaderboard down there, and James Moody is a real competitive SOB. He does not like anybody to take that spot. If somebody beats his $2,000 donation, I'll get the Talkin VAWLS microphone tattooed somewhere on my body. If somebody knocks James off of his throne, $2,000 and 1 cent. You're going to have to sign into 4 different accounts, probably 5,
Buddy,
because there's a limit at $500.
I'll join that. I'll play Rocket Top again.
Yeah, if $2,000.01, and I will get the microphone tattooed somewhere on my body. That's done and done right here, live tonight. We'll get it done. The Wiseman for 5. It's time to believe, boys. Maybe time for a Top Dog T-shirt. Big Orange Nation is back. Thank you, Wiseman. We appreciate it. Trey Tyndale becomes a member of the channel. Appreciate that. Blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah becomes a member of the channel. Appreciate that, buddy. Let's see. We got Big Orange Mountain also becomes a member of the channel. Also drops a $10 super chat. Says progressive improvement game to game is the key to the Smoky Mountain top. Georgia has not demonstrated that. UT has. The outcome is inevitable. Calling my Bama buddies to meet them in Atlanta. Let's freaking go, man. GBO, thank you, Big Orange Mountain. We appreciate that super chat. Stevie J with
Dauber,
another.
Did you hear that one? We're back. We're not here. We're back.
That's right. Can you guys please tell Dauber that we're back? We've been here before. We've been here before.
We're back.
Sorry, Dauber. I'm with Boogie on this. We're back.
It's like
back,
if you've been to McDonald's before and you go eat McDonald's, you say I'm back at McDonald's. You don't say I'm here. I'm here. We're back. We're back.
Food, baby.
We're back. Stevie J for 20. Thank you for the super chat. When Josh Heupel didn't settle for overtime, went for the win with 15 seconds, I knew he was a true Tennessee coach and we were going to do great things. Go Vols. Thank you, Stevie J. Very, very generous contributor here to the Talkin VAWLS Network. Blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. For $50, that ain't cheap. We got to play the freaking clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Appreciate that super chat. Says, love the number 1, hate the target. Maybe the college football playoff committee believes and already working the dollar numbers. The orange typhoon cometh. D-Car, what do you think about the target? Like a lot of people, I put out a video saying, spoiler alert, Tennessee's going to be number 1 in the college football playoff rankings, and a lot of people said they would much rather Georgia be number 1. I don't think it phases this team. I just don't think it does.
It doesn't matter. I mean, we are literally so focused this year. I mean, Heupel has got this team laser focused, locked in, absolutely locked in. Number 1. Number 2, number 3. I mean, to quote my good friend Happy Gilmore, green jacket, gold jacket. Who gives a shoot? I mean, let's go. I mean, we're taking this thing. I already bought my natty tickets. I don't know if anybody else.
Oh my gosh!
Oh wow!
Let's go. Let's go.
So
I'm locked in. I think I do think number 1. There's always that additional motivation. They're at the end of the day, they're kids, right? They're what. 20, 21, 22. In the case of Hendon Hooker, 24, right?
29.
Yeah. But there's always that additional motivation there. But at the end of the day, it's a team game. I mean, I don't think anybody's playing better as a team and more focused and bought into what the coaching staff is trying to do. I mean, it kind of goes back to what I talked about earlier with the coaching versus recruiting. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt that Georgia and Ohio State have the better players, but do they have the same kind of chemistry that this Tennessee team has? That's really where this Tennessee team excels, is that chemistry and just playing as a team. I think that's where we got it. So.
Yeah,
I don't think it matters.
Speaking of the national champ, go ahead, Dauber. Go.
I've been trying to make this point for like 5 minutes, and D-Car, that leads perfectly right into it. You look at this season, and you look at, I think it was the Akron game. You come out of that, and you're like, oh gosh, they torched the secondary. We got all these issues, but the coaching staff, that they look at that, they watch the film, and they've made defensive game schemes. They've changed the play calling. They've adjusted to fit the next opponent. And then, you've had guys make that improvement. This last week, we saw guys making their first starts at position and stepping up. So that's something else that just another, kind of wrinkle in this whole, being 8-0 is the development, the coaching, and the scheming. offensively, we've said it. The scheme and what Josh Heupel and Golish that they have going with this offense is just remarkable. But look on the other side of the ball. Look at what Banks has done with this defense, and look at how you've progressed week to week with that, and how you've actually changed your schemes to fit the opponent and to help almost cover some deficiencies. You've I bought into Boogie's philosophy of, hey, let's just bring the pressure and live and die by it. If we get burned, we get burned. But we know our offense can take 30 seconds and move the ball down the field and score, and we're rolling with that. And I think that, they've just wholesale bought into that. That's what we are. Damned if we do, damned if we don't. But we're going for it, and that whole ideal has really shaped what this team has done, and you've seen them get better week to week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and going back
And
to
big time.
speak of the national championship, guys. It is at SoFi this year, in Coach Jay's backyard over here in Los Angeles. So
tailgate party at Coach Jay's.
I was gonna say get there. It might be a pool party time at Coach Jay's, and we'll do some barbecue and do it right. For
Talkin VAWLS
Elite
pool party. All right, Talkin VAWLS pool party. Let's go. Hey, we gotta rotate some people off. I got some people. Some people are trying to come in the back room. I gave the Elite an hour. Yeah. I feel like these fan call-in shows. I feel like we could go 5 hours. But if a couple of you guys don't care to bounce, and we'll let some of these people come in, and let me hit this real quick. If you guys don't care, just go ahead and drop while I do this. Steve Truitt becomes a member of the channel. Thank you, Steve. We appreciate that. Mike Rutledge for $50. $50. That is not cheap. We got to play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Mike Rutledge for 50 says, GBO, last time I saw Tennessee beat Bama, I was 46 years old. Now I'm 61. Been a Vol fan all my life. Live in Southern Texas. Always wear Vol colors during season. What does that say? What?
I think it's my score.
Wait, what? My school, 22 Vols, 47. Take it to the bank. Bull craps, I guess that's the Bulldogs. He's going Tennessee 47, Bulldogs 22. I'll take it. I will take that to the bank. Thank you. Very generous super chat, Mike. We appreciate that. I love how I say somebody's got to bounce, and everybody's like, nope, Boogie, you're going to have to tell us who has to bounce. We're not leaving. We are not leaving.
Hold on, Boogie. I just want to say a couple of things before I'll bounce.
Hold on. Nate, you go first. No, Nate, go first. Drop a couple points, and then we'll let you bounce.
So first thing, would anybody here be upset? Answer this when I get done, and I'm going to jump off here. Would anybody here be upset if the college playoffs were today and we were playing Clemson in the first round?
Sign me up for that.
Exactly.
Bring it.
Second thing, being a slot receiver inside this offense is a one-way ticket to the NFL. And the last thing is I've got it 45-38. Go Big Orange. See y'all later.
I like it, Nate. Appreciate it, buddy.
Later, man.
What do you guys think about? Like, sign me up for that Clemson matchup.
Sign me up.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like, sign me up for Clemson. Clemson hasn't played really anybody at all this season. They struggled with the ukulele kid and benched him, and their backup is. I mean, he's a little something special, but I think Tennessee would wipe the floor with him if we played them in the college football playoffs, 100%.
Who else was going to make a point and then bounce? Somebody said they were going to make a point and bounce.
I'm going to make a point,
okay.
and not really a point. I'm going to say something to bounce. I'll let you go first. Go ahead.
Piggybacking on Dauber's point earlier, seen a stat earlier: 16 forced turnovers and 9 interceptions. Both of those lead the SEC for our defense. That's for all the people that have talked smack about our secondary and our defense all year.
Appreciate you jumping on, Jamie. We'll let Thomas make his point. Thanks for coming on, buddy. Have a good night. We'll hopefully catch you next. Actually, hopefully catch you Saturday for the tailgate show.
Absolutely.
Later, buddy.
Have a good night.
I do want to say, and then let Thomas make your point. You know, him talking about turnovers. That's what we said the Tim Banks defense needed to do, right? Like play aggressive, like I've sold. Man, you know what? I'm winning in life when I convince Dauber to agree. Do you understand how hard? Like, do you understand how difficult that is for me to do? To make this guy agree with me, but play aggressive, and that's, you know, this offense is going to score and forcing turnovers. I think it's almost. I was kind of surprised by that stat. Go ahead, Thomas, make your point, then we'll let you bounce. And we got Drew and Gary in the back. Okay. We'll get them on here.
First, I apologize for interrupting you earlier, Boogie.
No, it's hey, there's 48 people on here. We all interrupt each other.
But
what this is.
well, you're the host. So anyway, actually, the last guy kind of stole my thunder. I was going to talk about the improvement of the defense, the fact we held Kentucky, who everybody thought was going to run all over us, to 6 points. And anybody that doesn't think our defense can come to play, I don't know what else to say at this point. Vast improvement. Like Dauber said last night, the getting better as every week goes on. I'm going to say 45-35 Vols, 10-point win. If they win, I will shave my beard.
Oh, wow. Like Dauber's? Wait, no, shave it like Dauber's. Like, look at this. Look at this big, beautiful mustache.
If they win a natty, that's when I'm gonna get the tattoo.
Oh, let's go. Let's go. I need to keep the receipts. Thanks, Thomas. Appreciate you coming on, buddy. All right, let's
Go ahead, bud.
No, stick around. We got room, Dustin. You can stick around. Okay. We got Gary. Is Gary is he an orange sea lion? I can't see the full name.
Yes.
So Gary, hold on a second. We got Drew on here too. We'll get Drew's a bit. But Gary,
how you doing?
How much did it drive you nuts that I called you Orange Celian for about 3 months, probably?
I just wondered where you learned English from.
Is sea lion one word? I thought sea lion was 2 words.
It's totally 2 words.
I have no idea. All I know is
so Gary, wait a minute. Whoa. You just said I don't know the English language, and I asked you a question.
He said he didn't. You learned English. And I do. I know where you went to school, so.
Yes, no. But he asked me a question, and I sent it back to him, and he doesn't even know the answer, Dauber. So wait a second. Does anybody on the panel know? Is sea lion one word or 2?
I just looked it up.
It's 2 words.
So, Gary, you're the orange. Okay, no. I'm changing it. I am forever going to call you Orange Celian. Because it's.
And they're not orange either. They're not
know what this one is.
Yeah, but his is beautiful. And by the way, Gary, you need to change your avatar. The picture here on StreamYard has got to be. You got to make it that orange sea lion.
I think I can do that next time.
Yeah, you got to switch it. I had to give you a hard time. It's hilarious that I never saw it that way. But how you feeling tonight, buddy? What do you think about that number 1 ranking?
I just want to say thank you, Josh, Bobby Hill, Heupel, for bringing us football and hopefully soon football accessories.
Oh man, propane accessories.
Hey, the Bobby Hill memes are my absolute
Dang
favorite.
it, Bobby.
Bobby Hill memes and Josh Heupel, like that is my absolute favorite.
I saw some Kentucky fans calling him Chumley. I'm like, get it right. It's Bobby Hill.
Hey, I do want to remind everybody the link is out there for Talkin VAWLS Gold. So the Elite and Gold both have it. Drew, is this your first? I think is this your first call in?
It's my first call in, man. I love the show. I just became a member, Elite member. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good, man.
We got.
All right. Yeah, I just became a member. I think 3 days ago, but I've been watching the show for about a month now.
Awesome, man. Well, welcome to the party. How you feeling tonight? Number 1 college football playoff rankings.
Phenomenal, man. Feeling great. Been a Vols fan my whole life. Grew up in Jackson, Tennessee. Right now, I live down here in Central Florida, man. I think the coaching right now is made the difference. You know, we had following Josh Heupel a little bit. We had him down here in UCF, and he took us down to an undefeated season. I don't know if you guys remember that. And on that team, he had players that only had 1 arm on that team, and he took that team to an undefeated season. Ended up playing. I don't know if you guys remember. On that year, they ended up playing LSU. The quarterback had got hurt. With the second string quarterback, they almost beat LSU, lost by a touchdown in that. I think it was a Fiesta Bowl. So I mean, what he's going to do for Tennessee now with the resources, we might not lose a game for a long time. I think this is the last time that this is gonna be the last time somebody's gonna have a chance to beat us, because I think moving forward, we might not lose a game for a long time.
I always thought it was funny that people said that he couldn't recruit at UCF, even though he had better recruiting statistics than Scott Frost had down there.
No. That was he took a team to undefeated season, man.
I mean, let's all see what Scott Frost is doing right
exactly.
now. I mean,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
I heard
I was going to daisy
was
chain off something Coach Jay said and something that Dauber said a minute ago. I think it's just really cool. We've been through so many coaching changes, and I think it's just really special to get the right kind of coach at the right time, because I think they mentioned it on VolQuest this week, and it was a really good point that, you know, cussing these kids out and trying to rule with this just isn't going over the same way that it was in the past, especially with NIL and whatnot. So I think that quiet confidence of Josh Heupel is really carrying over into the team, and I think that's why continue to kind of progress, and they're just kind of all about their business. You know, they don't get too high, they don't get too low. And something that I bring up, if you guys had an opinion on this, I was at the Purdue game this year, and that was just another one on those list of heartbreakers that we woulda, shoulda, coulda. And I think since then,
We won that game.
mentality has kind of changed. And, right.
Yeah, he was over. He was over the. He was over the.
And I think since then they've used that as motivation all year long. So it's good to see us be able to get over those humps. And you know, there's a long list of reasons why this culmination is coming together. But I think one of the number one reasons for me is fun. I think it's fun for these kids, and it's fun to watch. And you know, somebody like Danny Heupel has you know, brought the letters back and expanding things and just making things cool again all around. It's just really from top to bottom.
Yeah, and you can make things fun and still get after the kids a little bit. I promise you, Rodney Gardner gets in their ear from time to time. But you know, you can have that overarching theme of fun and a good time, and we're here to learn. But you can also get down to business and get tough with it. And you can tell they're well coached. They're hitting hard in that front seven right now. I'm real proud of the way that defense is starting to turn some corners. And did we finally find the right secondary combination, moving Danico out to that cornerback?
Yeah. 100%. And I was getting ready to say, piggybacking off what you said, Coach, and I'm going to be honest, that Nico Slaughter hit that we had on against Kentucky, that was probably one of the best defensive play I've ever seen this whole season from our secondary
the
defense.
Call, too, was second to none, man. I mean, if you guys hadn't watched that thing 15, 20 times by now, like, you ain't a Tennessee fan. I mean, let's go.
Yeah.
Like, go back and watch that thing, man. That thing is fun.
I think Fowler and Herbstreit are good. They're good.
I watched it in the
good.
stadium, too. And what was the guy's name? Who actually intercepted it? What was his name?
Juwan Mitchell.
Juju Mitchell got it. And you saw that watching it from the stadium. I was on the opposite end zone, corner end zone. He came up, his arm up over the top. I was like, what is happening, man? Like, he just palmed that ball, swung it. I mean, just hurdled the man. Like, that was a play. Like,
Yeah,
that
I mean,
was a
Do you guys watch the Josh Heupel show on Sunday? The Josh Heupel show? Do you ever watch it?
A little bit, yeah.
I was watching it Sunday, and they were watching that play, and he just laughed at the end. He's like, "Come on, man, you got to be able to hurdle the quarterback." Like that great play, that big stick, the big play by Juju Mitchell, and the big return. He's like, "Come on, man, you got to be able to hurdle the quarterback. Like, get that to the house, get that to that." But I like Xavier, you saying, you know, the biggest play from the secondary, but that stick coming from the corner position. And then I love Danico Slaughter meeting with the media after, and he's like, you know, I'll play corner if that's what they want. I really like to be in the box because I like to hit people. I like to be physical. We need physical corners.
Yes.
Give me somebody that wants to play in the box and throw them on the outside. But, Dauber, where do you think that move came from? Because Danico Slaughter started this season as the third-string safety. He got opportunity because everything going on with Tank, but then Tank's back, and all of a sudden, Danico Slaughter gets thrown out there in the corner. And he looks like the best corner we've had all year, including Warren Burrell.
Yeah, I mean it's well, you bring up Burrell, his injury, and I think it's a combination of, like I talked about earlier, this coaching staff kind of evolving and making changes to get better, and it's as fans we have all these opinions and we have all these things that we base watching 4 hours of games. Does the coaches see these kids every day on the practice field? So that's something that they're watching tapes of practice. They're analyzing. They're seeing all these guys and they're saying, "Hey, let's try this." They move him there in practice. He flashes in practice. Okay, let's try this. And it's that constant drive to get better and really put the best 11 guys out there and in a way that shapes this team and gives it the best chance for success. And that's, I mean, that's hats off to what this coaching staff is doing. It's not, we're sticking with these guys. We're riding with this. It's this way. They want to win, and they're showing it by how they're changing and adapting and growing, and then also these kids, man, and the way they've bought in. And it is that you love seeing all these celebrations in the locker room, the stuff on the field after the games. I like Coach Jay said, it is. I think Heupel is kind of that different breed of coach, but don't get it crossed. I bet he gets up in their grill and he said Monday after the Alabama game that they took it in, they celebrated, but there were things to work on, and he and the position coaches addressed those with the players.
Oh,
so that to me, it shows that it's a business-like approach.
He gets in their grill, but you can tell that he's invested in them, and I don't know that you can say the same about other coaches in this conference.
Yeah,
let me clarify real quick. I was just saying that, obviously they're looking at film every week and they're correcting every possible thing that they can, but I just think there's a clear difference just in the way the guy carries himself between somebody like him and Jeremy Pruitt. That was my main point.
Yeah,
100%. Rather than bashing a kid and grabbing face masks and all that. Like, okay, you make a mistake, well, we'll try somebody else, or we'll approach it in a different way where we're not demeaning some kid, and that's the way I grew up, playing football and stuff like that. It's like, oh, you made a mistake, you're out kind of thing. And I think there's a fine line there. But I think there's also another way to motivate kids, and I think he's on the other side of that.
And
I want to hold on. I want to ask Coach Jay, because Coach Jay is coach, and this has come up a couple of times. We got a bunch of super chats, and after I get Coach Jay's opinion, I want to rotate some people off. We got a couple of people in the back. I see Shannon. I see Pokemon Dimes in the back. We're going to get them on here in just a second. But because it's come up multiple times, I want to throw it back to Coach Jay, because I have an uncle that coaches basketball. Dauber knows him, and my wife went one time and watched Coach Bentley coach basketball, and she said, I will never go back again, because he is Bobby Knight's his hero. He loves Bobby Knight. He's old school. He's aggressive. But one of mine and Dauber's mutual friends, one of my best friends on the planet, played for him. That's his favorite coach that he ever played basketball for. Anybody that's our age that ever played for him loves him. Coach Jay, how do you balance that? Because look, I coach kids, but it's not the kind of kids you coach. It's fluff. How do you balance? Because when you become their buddy, they run all over you. If you're too hard, maybe you lose them. As yourself as a coach, how do you balance that? How do you balance that?
So, for me, football is family. Football is family, and I think you got to treat it almost like they're your son. I've got a kid that responds to getting whacked on the butt sometimes, and I've got a kid who, if you tell him he did something wrong, goes to his room and gets upset with himself. I think you have to realize who you're dealing with and cater and evolve your coaching style to deal with what works for those players. And man, it is easier said than done. And I have a lot of respect for that old school hard-nosed style of football. Man, I love that. I grew up playing that hard-nosed style of football too, grabbing someone's face mask and getting in their grill when they've done something wrong and let them know what for. But it's just what you said. It's that balancing act of teaching them and coaching them and disciplining them. And if you get too light on the discipline, then you run into a Nick Saban situation. You know, all of a sudden, you're not going to go grab someone's face mask and get in their grill when they're slapping girls on the sideline. Next thing you know, you got 15 freaking penalties a game on the offensive line. And you have to balance it. You just have to balance it. And if you don't, you run into that problem. And no one is immune to it, and not even the great Nick Saban.
Let me catch up on Super Chats. Robert, Dustin, do you guys care to bounce? I got two guys I want to bring in. I see Papa T in the chat, too. Papa T, do you want the link? I can jump on Twitter here real quick and send you the link. Papa T is an honorary member of the channel. He is a member, but I don't know if Papa T knows how to find the community tab on Papa T. I'm going to send you the link. I'm going to send you the link, Papa T, and you can decide if you want to come on or not. So I'm going to Twitter, going to send you a quick DM. But if you guys can bounce, I'm going to add a couple of guys here real quick, and then I'm going to run through some super chats too. Let's see here.
Appreciate the time, man.
Yeah.
38-28 balls, baby. Y'all have a good week.
Let's
See you
go.
later.
I'll take it.
Thanks, Dustin.
I'll take it.
Yeah, hey, Boogie, I'm out of here, man. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's Vols by 50, baby. Vols by 50.
Love it, Robert. Oh, you're always in the chat. You're always in the comments. Appreciate all the support, my man.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Have a good night, buddy. All right, let me jam through some super chats, and then we got a few in the back. And Papa T, if you're still in the chat, you got the link on your Twitter DMs. Papa T's my man. I love Papa T. He is the most optimistic, positive dude on the planet. And the chat is now in love with Papa T as well. So let me run through some super chats real quick. Blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. For 20, I turned 50 the 8th. So I hang my prediction. Us 50, them 28. Thank you, Blah. We love it, buddy. We appreciate it. Joshua for 2. If we play Georgia 10 times, how many do we win? 3. That's you got the straight up honest Boogie answer. Let's go around the room. Dauber, how many times?
That's the ESPN predictor too. They got us at like 26% chance.
Oh, really?
To win, so.
That's I've said all year that Georgia's the best team in the country. Whether people agree or disagree, that's what I've said. Dauber, play Georgia 10 times. How many times does Tennessee win?
I'm gonna hedge my bet at 50. Go 5.
Xavier, what do you got?
I'm gonna go 4.
Coach Jay?
I don't know. I don't think I've decided yet. I'm still doing kind of my deep dive into this one. If you just pin me down in this exact moment, I'm gonna say 5.
There we go. That's what I'm talking
D-Car?
about.
If we play Georgia 10 times,
how many times does Tennessee win?
10.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Look, how about that? If Georgia plays Tennessee 10 times, how many times do they win?
None.
0.
None.
Zero.
D-Car just changed my mind. Just changed my mind. Gary, what do you got? How many times?
10 out of 10.
Man.
How many times?
See, I posted this big long thing on Facebook today about the myth of our porous defense, and I think that we're going to be able to make them one-dimensional. So I'm going to say 6.
Okay.
Gosh, I love. Maybe I preach that Josh Heupel's the cure. Maybe I still got battered ball syndrome. Let me jam through the rest here. Julian Belk for 10. Talking Vols. Love the channel. I'm Tennessee native, living in L.A. or Louisiana, one or the other. Watching L.A. Watching Pac-12 football is like watching semi-pro adult league games in half-filled stadiums. Keep up the great work, dude. It's embarrassing to watch like the UCLA's and USC's just be in empty stadiums. Matt Zimmerman.
Julian's in L.A. I'll see him at the Natty. I'll be out there.
We're going to be at Coach Jay's for the pool party.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to be in floaties, just having a good old time. Matt Zimmerman for 5, Vols 41, Georgia 34. Go Big Orange. Love it. Roger becomes a member of the channel. Thank you, Roger. We appreciate that. Seth Justice in the house for 5. Can't stop saying number 1 Tennessee to everybody. What is the magic number for points Saturday for our offense Tattoo bet is still on GBO Beat the Mutts. Yeah, by the way, the first family of the Talkin VAWLS network, Seth and Kalen, are both getting Talkin VAWLS tattoos if Tennessee beats Georgia on Saturday. That will be the first female to have the Talkin VAWLS tattoo. And there's going to be 7, 8, 9 people tattooed at that point. I love it. What do you guys think? Dobber, what's the we'll go around the room. Why not? We'll go around the room again. Dobber, what's the magic number? I'll say Tennessee has to score 41 points to beat Georgia on Saturday.
I think it's – I don't want to get too much into all of that. I'll save that for tomorrow on our Wednesday show. But
Which is going to be complete chaos.
I think it's going to be a lower scoring game than what this team has been doing. I'm going to say 32 points, maybe 35.
Xavier, what do you got?
Oh man, it's going to be a shootout. It is going to be a shootout. So, like Dauber said, I think it's going to be like a low scoring game. But I'm gonna just go ahead and say this. I believe it's going to be like 41-31.
Coach Jay, what do you got? What's the winning score? What does Tennessee have to get to?
I think we got to get to a minimum of 32 to win the game. I think there's scenarios for us there, but I think we'll score more than that. I think we'll get in the low 40s. Georgia, last I saw, is going to be missing some pretty key pieces along the defense. I haven't heard too many people make too big of a deal out of that, but I've certainly been making a big deal out of it. I think they're really, really key pieces. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen that old, what is it, a 90s movie, Necessary Roughness?
That is one of the greatest movies ever.
Yeah, where the onside kick, and he's, looking at all the players, and he's like, all right, who's my punk? He doesn't say punk, but, and he picks him out. Heupel does that so well, where he looks at the other team and he goes, all right, who's my punk out there? Who are we going to match up with and punk this game? And I think he's got some options this week.
D-Car, what do you got? What's the magic number?
So, man, it's tough for me to just put a number out there, like offensively, What would we do last year? We put up, was it 17?
Yeah.
And we came out strong. We had that early drive, scoring a touchdown. I don't think their defense is as strong as it was last year. I think obviously you can't argue they have a great defense, but
they're not, and our offense isn't the same as it was last year either.
It's not as strong as they were last year, but they're still strong, man. They're still number 3 according to what we saw tonight. But by the way, we're number 1. But if I had to put a number, man, I mean, I want to say 35. I mean, it's going to come down. It's going to come down to defense. Who's going to stop who? If our defense can show up, if our defense shows up like we did against Kentucky, I mean, Levis, 98 yards, 3 interceptions. Who saw that coming? Who saw that coming?
Nobody. Nobody. There is nobody that predicted that.
Absolutely nobody saw that coming. And if you did, you're a dang liar.
Didn't you hear? He's the number 1 draft pick.
I mean, but that's the thing. And the BVS in me, and I talk about it all the time, tells me, well, he's not a number 1 draft pick. Somebody messed up. He's going to be a flop in the NFL. I hope that man goes on to be the next Tom Brady, so we can talk about that for years, how we shut him out. But there's no telling. If I had to put an offensive number on it, I think it's 35 plus, and I think it's going to come down to who's going to stop who. I don't think there's any doubt that Tennessee is going to score. We scored 50 plus points on Alabama. We're averaging 48 something points per game. We're gonna score points. Who's gonna stop who?
The chat beat me to it, D-Car, but I was going to tell you, I know who said it. And
no, wait, hold on. Dang it, Papa T left. We left Papa T in the back so long that he left. Wait, say it one more time, Dauber. Who told you?
Gabe said that Levis wouldn't score more than 10 points.
He did.
He did.
All right. I'm glad we got that. Gary, what do you got? What's the magic number? I'm going to get these other guys have been waiting in the back forever, and I've read two super chats. Gary, give me the magic number.
I'm going to say not so fast, my friends, on this offensive baloney. 35 points is what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say that, and I don't have faith in the Georgia offense to be able to produce the numbers that we're going to be able to produce. They have 13 receiving touchdowns for the year. Jalen Hyatt has 13 receiving touchdowns for the
14.
year. 14. I'm sorry. Thank you. Jalen
He
Hyatt
has
alone,
more than some teams combined.
Most
multiple.
Most
They
teams.
have a lot of touchdowns on the ground, but they're not going to be but we have a top 10 rushing defense. They're not going to be able to make those explosive plays like we can, and I don't think they'll keep up with us at the end.
All right, let's expand the chat. Papa T is mad at me. He's like, Boogie, I'm not sitting in this green room any longer. I'm sitting back here with Shannon and Pokemon Dimes, and they're getting on my nerves, and I'm out of here. Let's add these guys. Guys, you're on the show. Now be patient. I'm going to jam through these super chats, but you guys have been sitting back there for an eternity. All right, so be patient. Bear with me. Let me hit these super chats. David Zierline for 5. Thank you for super chat. Did you guys see the video of Uncle Lou talking crap about Tennessee and Hooker? Look, Uncle Lou is going to do what Uncle Lou does. And I'm going to say this because I've seen it in the chat all night long. I sent Uncle Lou an email. He will be on the show tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to open. It's going to be hot. It's going to be fun. Look, I hope a lot of Georgia fans come in here and we can have this conversation. But I told Uncle Lou, I want to talk football. I'm not interested in trash talk, and I'm not interested in team asshole and all that stuff. I want Uncle Lou to come on and break down this game. And he said, absolutely, it sounds great. I'm not going to let you guys drop super chats and insult Uncle Lou. If you want to ask Uncle Lou a question, drop a super chat. You can talk about it. It's perfectly fine. But it's not going to be insults and name calling and all that stuff. It's going to be me and Uncle Lou talking for 30 minutes about Tennessee and Georgia. So that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a good time. Believe that. Just trust me. Christina Campbell becomes a member of the channel. Look, here's the deal, Christina. We've never had a female come on a fan call-in show, and every week they seem to kind of go back and forth in the chat. It's time, and nobody's stepped up yet. So maybe Christina will step up and be the first female to come on to the fan call-in show. But thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Mike Rutledge becomes a member of the channel. Thank you for that. Kenneth Dill becomes a member of the channel. Thank you. Ethan Maxwell for 2. What's your score prediction? You're going to have to tune in Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, when myself, Dauber, and JP will give our official predictions. Matt Zimmerman for 5, Vols 41, Georgia 34. Go Big Orange. Love it. Ashby Wilson for 2. Do you think Bennett will carry the Dogs? I think he'll make plays, man. I think he's a good football player. He's elusive. He's not a Bryce Young. He's not going to be out there going nuts making plays, but he is elusive. I think he will escape pressure, but I think pressure is going to be a key as well. Trey J for 2. I'd rather coach too hard than too soft. I don't necessarily disagree with that. Cody for 5. It's go time. Shoot me that link. Boogie honorary OG. It's out there for Talkin Vols Gold and higher. So maybe I'll put it out to Faithful here in just a second. Robert McGee for $20 says Vols by 50. Thank you, Robert. Robert was on the show as he's sending super chats. David for 2. You didn't read my super chat. Just read it, David. Sorry. We try to rotate through the super chats. Otherwise, I'm just reading super chats all night. But thank you for the tips. We appreciate it. Nathan Hyatt for 10. If we can limit the run, I don't see Stetson Bennett beating us. He is no Bryce. Go Vols. He's not, but he's good. He is way better than people give him credit for. Big Orange Mountain for $50. That ain't cheap. You got to play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Big Orange Mountain with a 50 spot. That ain't cheap. You are all wrong. We win the one that matters. And I'm assuming he means Saturday. Maybe he means a natty. Maybe he means Atlanta.
No, man, he means we're champions of life.
Maybe that's what he means.
Brick by brick.
I never know what anybody means. Wait, what did Papa T say? Where did Papa T go? I saw Papa T in the chat.
Said he had to hop up. Said he had a few things he had to take care of.
Okay, all good, Papa T. I hate it. Any chance we get to get Papa T on here, I want to get him on here, man. He's so much fun, such a good dude. Stumbled across him because of Swain. That's where I saw Papa T. We followed each other on Twitter. The dude is a VFL. He loves this football team. So much fun. Seth's in the back room. Let's get Seth on here. Welcome, Seth, to the show. I'm trying to track down all the super chats, make sure we are caught up here. Yeah, I think I've got them all pinned.
So
all
speaking of Swain, Ben McKee, I didn't really watch much of the show after they revealed the top 4 or whatever. But Ben McKee put out a couple of tweets a little while back that talking about things they said on the interviews and stuff. And somebody, the chair of the CFP, specifically cited the defensive performance against LSU and Kentucky impressing the committee.
Big time.
Like that LSU game is the gift that keeps on giving.
Fellas, I'm gonna hop out of here. So you guys have a great night. I appreciate you having me on. Good seeing everybody. Go
Have a
Vols.
good night.
Vols
Coach Jay, it's good to hear you, man. You got great points. Great points.
If you didn't hear it or see it, Vols are the number 1 team in the nation.
Wait, say that again. Hold on.
The number 1.
Wait, say it again. Read it from the top.
You can clip this with this mic just because you always want to talk about my audio, but the Vols are the number 1 team in the nation.
And they should be.
Later, buddy. Thanks for coming on, man. Always a pleasure.
5 ranked teams. 5 ranked teams. That's all I'm saying. Come on.
I've got to pick out a book for him to read to put me to sleep at night.
Gosh, it would take. It's a paragraph, Dauber. Just give him a paragraph.
I know,
it ain't gonna take a whole book.
He's got like that Morgan Freeman, narrative
Yes.
voice.
Yes.
But y'all were talking about family and stuff. Did anyone notice when they got that hit and that interception on Kentucky, the look in the kids' eyes was like they were taking the football to their dad. Like, you were talking Coach Jay about you got to treat them like their son. The happiness and the fun that these kids are playing with is unmatched. And, every game we come to, it's always an excuse of why Tennessee's not going to win or why they're going to play, mediocre in the defense, whatever. And every week they step up. And it's the fun and the passion that they have for this coaching staff and vice versa. That from what I've seen.
If you want a microcosm of the
Good job,
difference between this coaching staff and the previous coaching staff, just look at one player, Jeremy Banks.
My guy.
Look at Jeremy Banks.
My guy's Hyatt. I done told you at the beginning of the year when you first had your first show at the beginning of the year, Hyatt was going to be the guy that was going to step out.
I'm not even talking about performance on the field necessarily. I'm talking about just demeanor and character.
The progression and the evolving as a player. Yeah.
How many times has he held up, right? And we were laughing about it. I don't remember what show
helping
it was
other
on.
players.
Yeah, helping other players up, and he holds back. Like used to, he's just blasting people on the sideline, but now he's holding up. Discipline.
When he got hit by Rodriguez and knocked Rodriguez out of bounds right before they scored that touchdown, him and Rodriguez were talking and congratulating, good job, good hit, back and forth. That was Banks that did that.
That's
Yeah,
what I was about to
I
say.
think-
The whole game
I
they were
think-
patting each other on the helmet and talking.
Right.
Yeah, I think Banks, before Banks played for the love of the pop of the pad, which I totally get. I love that myself.
Mhm.
But
Slaughter.
I feel like now he's playing for the guy next to him rather than for that sound of the pads.
And where does that start, Coach Jay? Where does that start?
Coaching.
What field's that?
At the top.
Coaching.
It starts at the top with coaching.
And it isn't even just Heupel. I mean, Pope. A lot of those players that love Coach Pope. I mean, it goes all the way through that staff. It isn't one coach. Heupel's the top dog, so he's going to get all the congratulations and look at what Coach Heupel's doing. It's the entire staff, the entire team.
Yep.
It's that whole football program. There's not just one person or, Hooker. We could go on for days on all the people. But what impressed me is what we've said. There was 30 players that left We had nothing when he came in here. And less than, we're in halfway through year 2, and people are still trying to make excuses about why we're going to lose to Georgia. Dude, this team is confident. They're playing with a purpose. They have love for each other. And I promise you, it's not going to fail them Saturday.
It's coming down to coaching.
The thing with Banks is, he played with this rage, and that's part of the reason why he didn't work out on the offensive side of the ball with that staff was, that fight and that drive to get the extra yardage. He had a fumbling problem, so that kept him off the field as a running back. And then you saw that rage and that reckless, just drive on the defense side of the ball, which you like, but it's also got to be a controlled rage. And I think he has evolved as a player. He's matured, but he's also had that coaching and that development these last year and a half. And
his stepdad came in.
He has become the player that you're seeing now. And, I could see that kid making it on Sunday and being an impact player, just the way he has progressed.
And to piggyback off what you said, Dauber, too, now switching to the offense side of the ball is, man, the other person that did have a fumbling problem but is now cleaning it up is Jalen Wright.
Dude, you saw that. Like,
that run,
kid,
those runs he had.
That kid runs hard, and I respect it a lot. And I think after that Alabama game, I think that's when he knew he was like, okay, I got to protect this thing. And then even going back to the Pitt game, because saying the coaching staff was just like, look, man, you got to stop fumbling the ball, especially in big key moments stuff. But props to Jalen Hype, man. All the running backs, especially, props to them. But mainly, I'm really impressed with Jalen Wright. He runs hard and he runs with physicality.
Yeah, and when you feel like your mistake is costing your family, like with that fumble, it galvanizes you. Look at how Princeton Fant has been playing since he put the ground on the ball in the ground against Florida. It changed the way he played because I don't think he wanted to let his teammates down. I think it's that.
And he gets put in at fullback, right?
But how hard is it to trust a guy like Jalen Wright? He put the ball on the ground multiple times. But he's cleaned that up, like Xavier said. He's cleaned it up, and I think he's running better than Jabari Small right now. I think he runs hard, he runs physical. But how hard is it? Again, I'm gonna keep throwing it at Coach Jay because he's a football coach. How hard is it to have confidence in the kid? Is it practice? Is it practice, or do you have to see it on game day to have that confidence in a kid that struggled in the first half of the year?
I think you earn the opportunity back in practice, and then in. I don't want to say halftime or in some amount of limited time in a game, you fully earn the rest of that trust back. I think it's twofold.
I think in the Alabama game, you saw it in real time too, because he had if the refs hadn't have called forward progress stopped on one of his runs, he dropped the ball on that run. But then that very next run, he comes up. And you see them physically trying to strip the ball from him, and he is holding on to that ball with dear life.
I was watching that play, and I was like, "Dill fumble." I was like, "Please hold on." I was like, "Just hold on for dear life." Just
all the elusive runs that he had during the Kentucky game scared me so bad because you could see how he would flail his body out. And he'd jump over the line of scrimmage, and his arms would just go out. And I'm like, do not fumble, stop. And then, it would show the replay. And right at the point of contact, he wrapped that thing up and went down.
You can't wing that football. You got to wrap it up for sure.
Yeah. Oh, side note, did anyone hear? I know it's totally off topic, but did anyone hear that Georgia radio host say that he'd take Bowers over Jason Witten any day in a draft? Oh man, that pissed me off. Sorry, side note.
Wow, Jason Witten's the best tight end of all time.
I know.
Of all time. And
I'm not going to say anything bad, but that Georgia tight end is pretty.
Oh, he's a stud.
He's great. He's no Jason Witten. The worst thing that ever happened was Jason Witten putting on a Cowboys uniform.
Him down. He's the one we have to shut down.
You
Yeah, they got 2 of them.
Yeah, and I get to watch them play every Saturday, being in a house that loves the Georgia Bulldogs. So.
Oh, I feel for you, bro.
Well, let's play on that. What is the recipe for shutting down those tight ends? Because I don't think the linebackers can cover them in space.
Go dime. Go dime.
What do you go dime? Do you put the star on them? Do you take
go dime?
So, do you think so?
Yeah, go dime.
If you're sacking the quarterback, he can't throw it to him.
Yeah, but they've got a pretty stout offensive line.
Yeah.
What have they given up? What have they given up? 8 sacks, 10 sacks. It's very few sacks.
But you can tell, like Stetson Bennett has had more. At the first half of the season, he didn't even have hardly any touchdown passes. You know what I'm saying? Like he had more interceptions. It was like a Richardson thing. He had like the most yardage thrown, but no touchdowns.
He only has 3 interceptions for the whole
I
year.
hate being the gremlin of this whole stature, but who have they faced that's been ranked?
Oregon. That's about it. That's about it.
I mean,
South
come
Carolina
on.
for a week.
You can't take them as an opposing team that's going to really defeat us.
I just look at them on paper, and that's why I'm concerned. They've not had to prove anything.
I just think it goes back to like
we
last
had
year
to,
this,
though.
last year that.
Of course,
This team,
of course we did. Yeah,
we had to.
So that's why I wonder about their offense, because we have according to the Football Power Index, we have the 19th strength schedule. They have the 75th strength schedule, and our offense is if we had their schedule, I could only imagine the amount of yardage that we would have on offense.
Right.
But
that's where I get pissed about the AP polls, because what Shannon's saying is true. Like the AP poll is okay. I'm going to look at things
garbage
from the big picture. The big picture. I mean, it's true. It's true. It's like the AP poll doesn't matter. Like all that matters in 2022 is 2022. But if you and I are going to place a wager, I'm going to look at what George is bringing to the table, not who they played. That's what I'm going to look at.
And the AP poll is they're going back to, and a lot of people, Stetson Bennett isn't a great – Stetson Bennett led them to a national championship last year.
He did.
He's a great story.
I'm not taking that away from him. I'm not.
Look, Dauber, even Georgia fans hate Stetson Bennett. I hear it all the time.
Well,
they do. They do.
I mean,
they do.
I get it. But
I mean, I think our defense is going to stifle him, just like we did Kentucky. They're stepping up.
You've got to give that respect. Coming into the game, it is 2 completely different teams. Because look, this time last year, when Tennessee was facing Georgia, they were a 4-4 team.
Mm-hmm.
They were floundering. They were finding their way. It wasn't until that kind of end of the season kick that jump started this team to set.
You got to learn to crawl before you walk.
To set the stage for 8-0 right now. Number 1 in the CPF rankings, and all that. But at the same time, you've still got to give them their due, because we're going to their house, and that's my point. My point earlier in the show, for me. When I realized that this team was something special, going on the road to LSU as a favorite, because how often in the last 20 years has Tennessee gone on the road to a ranked team as a favorite? I don't know that they have.
Wait, are we not under? Are we not under? I thought we was under.
No, we were 3 points.
He's talking about LSU. He's talking about LSU.
Going to LSU.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Going on the road to a in-conference opponent as a favorite that's ranked in the top 25. That's tough to do.
Hey, Dauber.
And yeah.
What was that score of the LSU Ole Miss game in that same stadium too?
I don't know.
40. What, 42 to like 20 something or 17.
Yeah,
it was a beat down on it, Ole Miss, and everybody said before that LSU game, Tennessee wasn't going to be able to do much on offense. Look at Ojolari and all this. Dude, we spanked them.
Dominated Ojolari. Dominated him.
Will Anderson, all
dominated
these
him.
Supposed to be the best. And Will Anderson had, I think 1 tackle and half a tackle for
They're
loss.
still talking about Will Anderson like he's so great, but they never mention how we shut him down.
Yeah,
It's
if-
Like they don't give Tennessee their credit.
coaching.
Like I said, it's convenient. It's convenient.
Hey, Darnell Wright is earning himself a lot of money this year.
Herb Street was look at LSU. They've improved so much since week 1 their loss to Florida State. Well, he didn't mention the beat down that Tennessee. It's convenient. That's the thing that is frustrating because
Moving that goalpost.
You do have
all
Tennessee
year.
getting
all year.
You do have Tennessee getting all this love and media support, but when it's convenient, when it plays to their narrative, that they work it in. But they conveniently leave it out when it doesn't fit their narrative. So that's the thing that's frustrating. This team is good.
Past couple weeks, they kept automatically Georgia's a loss for Tennessee. Automatically, Georgia's going to play Alabama in the SEC championship, and then Tennessee's going to get left out of the playoff because that Alabama is going to beat Georgia. Whatever, like, come on, dude, you don't know that.
You know what?
I'll put this out there. I don't think that it's a given that Alabama is going from the West. They're still.
They can lose to LSU Saturday. They got to play Ole Miss.
That's my
I don't have much faith in Ole Miss, honestly.
No, I mean, Ole Miss could pull some shit.
I don't have. I think they're over. If you look at the games that they won too earlier, and then when they played LSU stomped them.
I gotta jam some super chats. There's some big time super chats, and people are yelling. They're like, "I guess the clip doesn't matter anymore, Boogie. I guess the clip doesn't matter." Let me jam these super chats, and we'll come back. It's a great conversation. Let's hit these real quick. Number 1, Sunshine Vol used to be number 1, Negavol. I changed people. I'm bringing people to the Lord every single Talkin Vols live. $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Our Terrible D being number 1 in takeaways in the SEC. Sign me up for that. Thank you, number 1, Sunshine Vol. Let me get that off the screen. There we go. Big Orange Mountain for 5. 10 matchups versus Georgia was the question. The answer is the one that matters, which is this Saturday. We'll find out on Saturday. Hey. Big Orange Mountain. Shot by Andrew for 2. If our receivers can get open, it won't be. Wait, what do you mean if? What do you mean if? They're going to be open.
They're going to be open.
They're going to be open. They're going to make plays. Big Orange Mountain for 50. That ain't cheap. We got to play the clip, right? We got to play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Did I already read this one? I feel like
it's mismatches. Mismatches.
Yeah, that one.
UT is on mismatches.
I'll read it again. Well, you all are wrong. We win the one that matters. I do think I read that one. But thank you, Big Orange Mountain, for the super chat. Here's Wayne. Wayne's the man. And Wayne, I hurt Wayne's feelings because he dropped this, I don't know, like 3 hours ago. And he's like, you just don't play the clip anymore, Boogie? You don't respect me? I don't respect $1.99 dollar menu, Wayne. I respect
44 to 41, even though they shot down the tight end? Nah.
Here's the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
I have to say something.
A better score.
I have to say something as I read this. Wayne for $50. Wayne, we appreciate it. I love you, buddy. I wish you would at least give $2.99 so I could get you on the show more often. But he says, believe, guys, this Vols defense is going to stop the run and lock down the tight ends. Tennessee 44, Dogs 41. You know who Shannon reminds me of? Shannon reminds me of a young Wayne. Does Shannon not look like a young Wayne Starnes? Like, look at this guy.
I'll take it.
He looks like a younger Wayne Starnes. Anybody that's seen Wayne come on the fan calling shows, Shannon looks like a young Wayne Starnes.
I'll take it. I'll take it, baby.
I love it. Wayne's the man. I love Wayne. Wayne's a good
cool.
dude, man.
Wayne's cool.
I'm digging that background though. That wallpaper or whatever you got up back there.
That's cool. That's actually a goddamn blanket, bro. All
right.
Hey, I'm just trying to make it real here. I gotta make it better than you know, our host here. You know what I mean?
Wait, what?
I gotta make it look good.
What are you? You're insulting me? What are you doing?
Hey, you got all these arcade machines and everything behind you.
Wait
got all this
second.
UT stuff.
Wait
Look,
a second.
Whoa.
I got
a UT Barbie, bro. Look at that. I got a UT Barbie.
We don't want to know
I mean,
what you
come
do with that
on.
either.
He's got
Wait.
Coach Kelly Barbie.
Not
up
even
You don't-
wearing orange.
Whose office would you rather have, Shannon's or this playground for every 12-year-old in the state?
Yours, of course.
Look at this.
Fucking asshole.
I love UT
That golf
Barbie
machine.
and all, but Mortal Kombat might be.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, that Mortal
I-
Kombat machine back there is that's my jam, man.
I
And
used
it
to
took
have
me.
I used to have
Hey.
that cabinet.
Man,
when
I
was
came in the
growing up.
first show, and I was like Dollar General Internet, and I couldn't keep up, and it sucked. And so I upgraded. I've got my Family Dollar Internet now, and I've got my background. I got my lighting. I had my headless headset, but it ran out of battery before I come on. So now
Hey,
I'm
look,
wired.
I'm the same way, brother. Hey, look, like I said, look, I bought me a house. Look, this is my office. Look, I got my lights up.
Look at
I'm
X
like,
Factor. He's
Boogie,
trying to
look,
mimic
hey,
me back
look,
there. He got those
look,
orange
look.
lights, got that
Hey,
sign
hey.
back there. Stay humble.
X
be kind,
Factor's got it going
work
on.
hard.
I'm trying to compete with X over here, son.
I'm just at work, so
Hey, I've got lights in front of me and everything. Look at this. I got lights right there. I got like right there.
Shannon
I've got
putting in more
lighting.
work than Dauber. Putting in more work than
Yeah.
Dauber.
I got some work here, man. I've been trying to be on the show for a long time and put my 2 cents in.
I hear you, bro.
This is
I mean,
amazing.
I love the show. You know what I'm saying? I love the show. I mean, hell.
I mean,
We all
at work,
love
got these sweet
we all
pumpkins
love
that
the
are
Vols.
orange. This is in memory of Kentucky's beating last Saturday.
Shannon, why do you love this show? Shannon, why do you love this show? Honestly, why do you love this show?
Because everybody is just like me. Everybody's
We're all a
just like
bunch
me.
of we're all a
Hey,
bunch of psychopaths.
Don't put that ugly on me.
Hey, come on, Ed. No, hey, we all love the Vols, and we've probably been Vol fans from like birth. You get what I'm saying?
Oh,
So it don't matter. It don't matter. It don't
I
matter
love it. I love it because the fact that you said you're all like me, and that's what we try to sell on this channel. And so many
Right.
people, like when they come in and watch, and they're like, "Y'all are a bunch of idiots. You don't know what you're talking about." When you realize that we're all like, we're all just psychotic, emotional fans. Here's Cody. What's up, Cody? You've been waiting all night. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, there's a man. What?
Cody!
Look at this. At least Cody has a shirt on tonight. What's up, Cody?
Hey,
Dangerous.
It's go.
How you feel, Cody? Let loose, buddy. You've been waiting all night, so the floor is yours.
Smokey has Uga up in the tree, waiting on the shotguns to come in. It is over.
I love it. I love it.
That's awesome.
You're not nervous at all? Like at all?
No. Georgia
Excited.
hasn't shown me anything on offense to show that they are dangerous to our defense. Nothing. Sure, their tight ends could carve us up, but that's probably the only thing they've got going for them. That's it.
There you go, Boogie. There you go, Boogie. Just for you.
Wait, what I'm?
Oh,
there we go. Welcome back, Gary. Look at that sea line.
The power went out.
Maybe I'll just sell a T-shirt with that sea line on it.
Hey, that's my own original creation.
I don't know. I monetized it first. I feel like I have copyright over it.
Oh, sorry.
Trademark.
My power went out, so I'm back on now.
You got that Fort Loudon electric?
Like, it just kills me how they keep moving the goalposts. They keep, every time we beat a team, there's an excuse for why, or, oh, well, that team ain't that great, or whatever. Like, you can't just, accept the fact that Heupel is doing a great job, accept the fact that this team is, really good. The defense has gotten incredibly, that much better.
And
this defense, honestly, over 4 games has turned a corner in my eyes.
And even when it is acknowledged that Tennessee is good this year, it's like because people they're like, oh yeah, you
good.
guys are like, they're
fucking
like, oh,
great.
you guys are like 2019 LSU. You're gonna burn out next year anyway. Like it's just like you can't even compare the two. This is year 2 of Coach
Joe
Heupel.
Milton looks like a beast. I'm telling you now, like he is just doing nothing but learning, sitting in there, enjoying this year, watching his brother crush it and him and Hooker. Mark my words, Joe Milton is going to be a freak next year.
Hey, those are my words, Pokemon
I
Dimes.
gotta
Those are
say,
my words.
guys, like
I'll let you have them.
No. Listen, there's so much talent there with Joe, and I've got this little thing in my back of my brain that worries that he's the type of hitter that hits home runs when the team is down by 7 runs or up by 6 runs, and I just pray that I'm wrong about that little thing. I don't want to be right at all about that little thought that creeps into my brain about Joe. And
Joe's not Hendon. He's not Hendon. He's not Hendon.
I trust Heupel to teach him.
And I think that's the beauty of Hendon winning the job last year, because they had last year to teach him. They have this full year to teach him, and it's going to be year 3 in the system going into next year, and it's going to be Joe's job. It is Joe's job, and the perfect situation is to redshirt Nico, let him get a full year, and then go from there. Go ahead, Dauber.
Can I say something crazy?
Hold on, let Dauber go.
The flashes of Milton that you've seen this year are vastly improved from the start to last year.
Yeah,
so the kid stayed in the program, stuck with it, and is riding it out when he could have bolted.
Oh yeah,
he could have gone somewhere else and been playing this year, and instead he's like, I see what's going on here. I'm getting better. He sees that himself. He's pushing himself, and you have seen, it's been, kind of mop up duty and this or that, but they threw him in for the Hail Mary at the end of the half.
It just takes one hit.
Yeah,
That's Hooker gets hurt, he's in. It's him.
What I like is you see that he's got the dedication.
Good point,
he
Pokemon.
He could have easily bolted, and he's sticking with it. So I've got a lot. You see the upside in his athletic ability. Arm strength. The arm strength is ridiculous, and that
if he could just pinpoint it, he'll be good.
That is what won him the starting position last year. Was that ceiling that he has and his potential and his athletic ability. Now to be able to harness, and just like we talked about with Banks. Banks, the athletic ability, that drive, that rage that he plays with, same thing with Milton. That arm strength, he's got to harness that. He's got to be able to learn how to. It's like Spider-Man,
control.
You got to control it.
Great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah. So that's what
Chat's so worried about Shannon. They're like, Shannon's going to say something to get Boogie banned within the next few minutes. Shannon is flirting that line. Let's see. We got is this the GOAT? Wait, is this the GOAT? Let me read some super chats real quick. Wait, I got the Wayne for 50. I already got that one in. Adam Lee for 5. Thing I'm most proud of is sportsmanship. I would love to see a montage to our boys picking up opposing players. Don't know. Made the mistake of giving me -10. Bet it all. Thank you for super chat. Jody Wooten for 2. Knew we'd be number 1 when the first ranking came out. GBO. Yeah, I put the video out saying spoiler alert. I was not surprised at all. Big Orange Mountain for 5. Wife giving me Taz. Got a jet. See you guys next stream. Cheers from the Pacific Northwest. GBO. Thank you, Big Orange Mountain. Hey, let me run down the week. Holy cow, is it a jam-packed week? And it's only Tuesday. It is only Tuesday. But man, what a big week. Tomorrow, Uncle Lou. Tomorrow, Uncle Lou's coming on.
Hey, my trash gets took out tomorrow.
Shannon, you take care of your trash, and I'm going to bring Uncle Lou in. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Eastern time, Uncle Lou is going to be on the channel. Trust me, guys, it's going to be good. Come in, hang out. We'll let Uncle Lou have 20, 30 minutes. He's going to be analytical. He's going to break down this game. I know some people hate Uncle Lou. The dude knows he knows college football.
Yeah, he knows football.
He's going to come in and break down this Tennessee-Georgia game. It's going to be a good time. Thursday, got videos coming your way. Friday morning, me and Gabe, the morning show 2.0. We're giving you a bonus stream Friday morning. Ben McKee's going to kick things off. Ben McKee from 247 Sports. Holy cow, does he know how to break down a football team. And he's going to have a full week of preparation. He's going to come in, break down this Tennessee-Georgia game to kick off the show on Friday morning. That'll be a big one. Saturday, we're going to go live an hour before kickoff. Fan call-in show. Complete chaos. Just like this, Shannon may come on and cuss and drop F-bombs, and y'all will be worried for me. But guess what? It is going to be a good time. And then we'll go live immediately following the game, post-game show. Hopefully.
I didn't know it was limited.
Celebrate.
I didn't know it was limited.
Unfortunately.
We try to keep it. Come on, Coach Jay. We try to keep this thing PG-13. You never know when somebody's riding down the road, listening to the show with their child in the car
I'll
seat.
try to keep. Hey, I'm learning every week, bro.
Yeah. It's recruiting language, not field language.
Exactly, Coach Jay.
Hey, I'm learning every week. Hey, I've got the lighting. I've got that mic and the headset now. I've got the great internet. We're gonna come. Hey, I'll tell you next week on the next team we play. And
hold on a second. This is all these people in the chat. All these people in the chat say, I said 15-0. I said we were going to do. They're all liars. This dude, the GOAT, the original GOAT, the original 15-0 GOAT. This is the guy that's been here since the preseason predicting.
He can't talk. Everybody's asleep.
He said 15-0. GOAT, give me something. If you need to whisper. If you need to whisper. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. You can't even come in here and talk. You coming in here with the family asleep trying to talk 15-0. All right, we got to wrap. Sweet Moses, we're 2 hours in. This has been
out there.
It's been an absolute blast. We go 2 hours every single Tuesday night. Tennessee King for 5. Uncle Lou said today he don't think the loser makes it to the playoffs. We'll talk about the playoffs. We'll talk about this Georgia team versus last year's Georgia team. I'm excited to talk to Uncle Lou tomorrow. Hey, we got to wrap this thing up. For Dauber, for the X Factor, for Coach Jay. Coach Jay's the man. Always. Hey, Coach Jay. You wonder why you're here 2 hours later? Because you're the man. I love having you on the show, my man. I love having you on. Pokemon Dimes, Cody Branch, the shirtless wonder, Gary, the orange Celian.
You ever need help? Holla at your boy.
And the original 15-0 GOAT. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. I'll see you guys tomorrow. The video may be a little late because it's 11 o'clock and I'm exhausted.
It's all good.
Go big. I'm trying to find the outro. This is what I do. I'm looking for it. There it is. Go big, Orange. See y'all tomorrow.
That we